Welcome back, my Duelist friends. Casual Duelist here, and it is Thursday, and I'm actually going to be doing a Time Wizard Thursday. It turns out this week we took off doing video games. We wanted to get another extra, speed deck in throughout the week. We have not yet had our chance to get a box of the new Duelist Advance yet. However, we are in talks with getting a handful of the cards so we can start making a couple decks for you guys. So tons of stuff on the way. 100%. But today what we're here for is a little bit of the Time Wizard progression, right? So I think it was the last time we all convened here, and I'm just getting some stuff situated around me so that I could do the job. Last time we were here, the last deck I gave you was like this super cool crab turtle ritual based deck, because we were closing out the Imperial format. We are done with the Imperial format. We're moving forward to 2003. So decks like this, they just get more support as we go. So yeah, we can keep building you guys Crab Turtle sort of as the joke deck. I have the rest of the cards picked out. I do not have the rest of the list for my side deck for the Imperial format Germ Burn that we decided that we're going to keep as our representative deck of the time period. Were there better decks in the time period? I would have to say that yes. This was a very combo-based thing for Imperial. And it wasn't like the craziest thing, but this is definitely the deck that we're signing off Imperial format with. So if I ever go to an event, this would be what I'd be playing. But I could always just dip into the Master Collection and go ahead and grab out some cards like this. So I'm going to get those. We're going to put those off to the side. I want to start by talking about what was released in the interim. So we did have a Season of Tins, which is cool. Tins made certain cards easier to obtain. One of the biggest things that you'll note, and I've got my phone in airplane mode right now. I'm on the format library right now for the Android format, which is the one that we're going to start covering. Android format is called this mostly because Jinzo is the dominant card. He's the defining impact. This is the April 2003 setup, and the biggest notable deal that we got in the TCG is going to be the Labyrinth of Nightmare as the core set. Again, like I said, there's some tins, there's some video games. Exchange is a thing. Skull and Graceful Dice are things. There are some really cool ones. Acid Trapple ended up being really good last format. We do gain some crazy stuff like they're noting right here. They're talking about Gemini Elf. This is the first Vanilla 19. This is going to slightly outpace Mechanical Chaser. Bazoo definitely leads you to wanting to have a graveyard as it can actually modulate its powers. Kaiku is going to be more important coming up. But for Dark and for Spellcaster, he had some early game synergies. Skull Layer did have a mistranslation at the time that should have allowed it to banish any card in the graveyard, and I think later this changes to being just monster cards. So again, this is one of those things where we're talking about, like, with the Time Wizard formats. Should the errata go backwards from the most current errata? Because what that's going to do is effectively anytime they change a card, and if it's a core card, if it's something like Monster Reborn and they change it to say something like you can only activate one a turn, that retroactively changes every format every time they touch the wording. So I don't think that they should do that. Again, they sort of backpedaled on that already, so it's not that big of a deal. And one of my favorite traps, Torrential Tribute, is actually going to be here during this. Now, real quick, I just want to scroll down to the limits list and go over this real quick. It's all the same suspects. There's like 4 changes. Exodia is still all limited to 1. Cyberjar is still at 1. Jinzo at 1. Morphing Jar at 1. Sangan joins Witch, dropping from 2 to 1 between Imperial and the new Android format. And again, you got to understand, Sangan's kind of awesome, so this makes sense. Card Distro, Change of Heart, Confiscation, Dark Hole, Delinquent Duo, Limiter. The brand new one of the new LON card releases is going to be Mage Power. And again, most duelists today know this. I think it's in everything, including Speed Duel right now. It's an equipped spell that's going to give the equipped card 500 points per spell card on your side of the field. Spell or trap card on your side of the field. Reborn, Painful Choice, Pot of Greed, Premature Burial, Geki, Snatch, Steal, Swords, Forceful. United We Stand shares the same boat as Mage Power. The difference here is that this card gives 800 points per monster that you control. Again, this got a little more powerful once we created the extra zone, because now you can have 6 cards on your side of the field instead of just 5. So this goes from 4,000 to 4,800 in today's formats, which is kind of hot for just a quick little spell that's become way more common in modern day Yu-Gi-Oh! I believe these both started as ultra rares in LON, which is all good. Upstart Goblin was at 1. Call the Haunted, Ceasefire, Imperial Order, Mirror Force, and brand new to the lists would be the Magic Cylinder. Now again, Magic Cylinder is a crazy one because on the one hand, I kind of forgot that it appeared this early. I thought this was a Magician's Force thing. I thought it appeared with the rest of Yugi's support with the Dark Magician Girl, but I was wrong. We had access to this much, much sooner. And it's a great one-of. It's a game ender sometimes, but it did get misused a couple times, including by myself. Luckily, it was not in any type of a serious event. It was just a little locals. I don't think my opponent would see it that way, because it was the card that gave me the win. So technically, he should have won it had I known that I could not have activated it that way. Is what it is. So yeah, those are the ones. Again, nothing is outright banned yet. 2s, we still got Heavy Storm, we still got Crossout, we still got Backup Soldier, and we still got the second Morphing Jar. So again, the 2s are pretty fair for the time period. And again, like we could look through this and we could pick the Power 9 spells of Yu-Gi-Oh! And just understand where this was going to let us go. Now, as far as what was in the Labyrinth of Nightmare, I got that pulled up on my tablet instead. If we can get that thing to do his job a little bit. So, I'm thinking we're going to go to a list like this, because maybe... No, that's about right. So, the first thing we've got is we got the Amazons, starting as just Amazon. We get the Archer, which does have the ability to do some damage. We contribute 2 monsters, inflict 1,200 to the opponent, which is good. It's going to get better here in a little bit. We're going to get real close to having Scapegoat, because that's just right around the corner. We're almost going to get our second structure starter decks. We do get a better card for those that are just playing V-Beats. You could definitely retire out your Judge Man and put the Amphibian Beast next to your Summoned Skulls. Single tribute. Not a 5-star, so it's not relevant later. Just a good card. We get our first Banish to Special Summon cards. And this will include all 4 of the attribute. No. I think it does go, maybe it goes all 6. I remember Aqua Spirit. I remember Spirit of Flames. I think it's Gigantus. There's some wind one. They all have a goofy effect. The dark one might actually be just Dark Necrofear. And it requires Fiends, not Darks. And again, I've always said this about Yu-Gi-Oh! Every time we get into Yu-Gi-Oh! We get some cards in a set. It's almost like it's a test for later cards. And we did not get Gigantus in here. We get the Rock Spirit. I'm seeing it way down below. So just keep it on in order. Bait Dolls are reusable. Target a set spell trap. Force the activation if it's a trap. Negate the effect. Activation if it's incorrect. If you do, destroy it. And then when this card resolves, it shuffles back into the deck. It was just a weird little card. I don't remember having it see too much play. Bazoo, however, does get crazy. Once per turn, you can banish up to 3 monsters from your graveyard. Gain 300 attack per. So this thing can gain up to 9, go up to 25 as a 4-star beast. Pretty tech, pretty awesome. We do get some throwaway normals. One cool thing that we used to use in the underground tournaments and stuff as part of the like the dual hazards, we used to use this blind destruction once per turn during the standby phase. Roll a 6-sided die. If it's 1 through 5, destroy all monsters on the field with the same level as it. And if it's 6, destroy all level 6 or higher monsters on the field. It was goofy. I'm not 100% sure that that's the original way. I thought it had to do with the zones. So that might be an errata. Either way, that would work. We could still use that as like a dual hazard. Card of Safe Return, great card. Anytime you special summon from the graveyard, you get to draw a card. In its instances, so it's cards. There were a lot of things that were like anime only. Like I saw Chosen One. I never saw a good duelist play this. We got Collected Power. I think this just brings all equipment to one card. This was good for like a split second. I used to see this in side decks, and especially players would side in like Maha Vilo at this point. Because if your opponent's going for the Mage Power and the United We Stand, at which point they were great cards, a lot of decks ran them, you'd be able to just go ahead and equip them to yourself. Because again, it says all equips on the field. So it does not matter that it's your opponent's stuff. What's another fun thing? We had this right here. What is this called? Crimson Sentry. Should have been an Amazon, never was. Tribute this face-up card to return one of your monsters destroyed as a result of battle to the bottom of your deck. Again, this would be fun with things like Giant Germ and such. Cure Mermaid was one of those like healers. As long as this is face up on your side of the field, life points go up by 800 during every standby. We don't need the Facebook message there. So that's that. What else do we got here? Big cards here. You got the Gemini Elf. Again, big beat stick. Every beater deck is going to want this. Just a good card in general. Gilasaurus, probably one of my favorite tech picks. Just because, again, you can special summon it from the hand. And if your opponent has any monsters in the graveyard, they get to choose to special summon it. We've already got Marauding Captain. This plus the United We Stand equals some pretty heavy rollouts. Just building up big fields. You do have Garuda the Wind Spirit. Again, so if you're playing wind attributes, this is fine. Water gets Aqua. If we went down here far enough, Spirit of the Flames for the fire, Rock Spirit for the earth, Soul of Light and Purity, was it? Yeah, Soul of Light and Purity. This one was actually good. You can remove 2 lights, and then all monsters your opponent control lose 300 attack during their battle phase only. So again, it makes it harder for them to run you over. We do get some things that are very warrior-centric, like Lightning Blade, because this actually only equips the warriors, but it's a huge bonus. It's 800 points. And it's cool because like water for some reason loses out a little bit. We've got all that. We get the quick play. We get Offerings to the Doomed. Every speed duelist knows this one to some extent. We do get the Mask of Restrict. Mask of Restrict stopping tributes. Mask of Weakness is... It's almost like Reinforcements, but it's still pretty well outmoded by the fact that we can still just use Rush recklessly. What's the difference between us increasing our attack as opposed to lowering yours? It's spell speed activation. Being that the one is a quick play spell, it is still spell speed too, but during our own turn we can play it. We don't have to set it up for a full turn, so that's always nice. Marikutai is in here. Revival Jam. The Masked Beast makes its debut in here. You can tell this app uses the original Japanese arts for everything, as the Destiny board here is going to be spelling out death. We also see, again, Tornado Wall. So this is like the first moment where like Umi creates a brick wall that you can't get through. Torrential United. Zumbira the Dark actually creates a really cool tech warrior build. Because again, at this point, like Reinforcement of the Army, I think was in the game. I'd have to check back through Fair Servant real quick. If not, it's going to be like in the next set, Legacy of Darkness. And when we do finally get our hands on copies of Reinforcement of the Army, we're going to be able to just pull Zumbira. Now, the big bad with him is he's 2100. He cannot attack directly. However, we do get some cool cards in the form of like final attack orders, as well as like stop defense, things that you would have already had, so that we can go ahead and draw those attacks out. We do start seeing some of the cool tech fusions now. Mind you, we've already got Restrict. Restrict is already in the card pool. You're going to see people starting to put away fusions because, like, again, one of the biggest things that was kind of a goofball move was this Summoner of Illusions. Let me just kind of... Boom. So the way he works is flip another flip, target one other monster, and if you do, special summon a fusion from your extra deck, destroy it during the end phase. So again, it's a flip to tribute, to create something. And the beauty of it is you do get it for the turn. One of those big cards is going to be the Last Warrior from Another Planet. This guy was huge. It says if this card is special summoned, you destroy all other monsters you control. And while you control him, neither player can summon monsters. So again, once you've got something like this, he's a 7-star. We're looking forward to like Metamorphosis plays. And then trading out 7-star cards to get him. It's just a matter of the Summoner of Illusions can do this as well. So like that is one of the actual tech fusions. He's one of the only fusions in this set. I think it's just him and St. Joan there. No, I'm sorry. There's a Worm Drake as well. There's Merrick's card. A lot of this set could be looked at as just being throwaway. But a lot of this set actually spreads the decks out a little further. Because, again, certain things just become everyday tech, like the Magic Cylinder. Again, most every deck can utilize not just the Mage Power, which is already a base 500, but the United We Stand is already a base 800, not counting any other cards that you have. And it's perfect to give something like that to Marauding Captain. You'll also get this Draconic Attack thing here, which can also only be used by warriors and equip monsters treated as a dragon, increases the attack and defense by 500, which is good and weird. Another tech card that would like later be amazing is going to be the Fusion Gate. Like, this is a great card to pick up now and then own it for later. And I remember thinking like the vector graphic of it was like different and kind of ahead of its time. There's a lot to do with this set. We're going to be building some decks for a few weeks at least, doing this. I'm not sure which deck it is I'm going to personally be keeping, but I am excited for the next format after this, because after we are through with the Android format, we will be hitting to the Joey Pegasus format. And again, like I said, we get some new starter decks, and along with new starter decks, I'm going to go back in time and we're going to build the 3 times based on what was available in those starter decks. Even though, obviously, I do not have the money or time to track those originals down. So that'll be good. And again, we get some great cards once those arrive into the game, too. So that's it. There's tons to look forward to in Android format. Again, that is April of 2003. So we finally left the first year of Yu-Gi-Oh! As far as the Time Wizard progression is gone. And I can't wait to get these decks out for you guys. So for now, do your thing. Like, comment, sub if you are enjoying the journey. And other than that, just go out, enjoy your day, and keep on keeping on, all right? Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, my friends. See you later.